In this video, I'm going to put 66 9mm holes in the side of the Suburban. But not how you think.
It shows up in a big white Suburban.
So if you notice, there is quite a bit of glass here. And if you pay attention to XJ builds, a lot of them have what they call a rub rail that runs right through here, right underneath the window, and it helps protect this big glass and the quarter panel and the taillights from getting smashed up doing off-road stuff. And since we sleep in the back, if I bust a glass, that's a real big problem, especially if it's raining outside. So we're going to do something to protect this glass. And after I get done with this, I may need to find a Jeep badge to stick on the back. Alright, this video we're going to do some more driveway modifications. I got my Yes welder here, flat strap, 1 3/4 tubing, since I'm doing more of the Rocklander thing instead of the real overland thing. I'm starting to beat it up a little more than I used to, so I'm going to build some more armor. Cut a couple pieces of strap and weld a couple other pieces to it. That way I have enough to do both sides. So instead of just squaring off the strap, I'm going to angle it and put a little round on it to make it look a little better. Where I measured my big piece of strap in half. I got that marked to mark it in half, and then I measured the distance in half this way and mark that. So now I can take a 45 and I can cut across here, and what it'll do, it'll actually give me that extra 1 1/4 length on either side, and then I'll round it. I'll round this and then just make it look a little better. I'm going to do the same thing on this 3-inch piece. This is 4-inch and this is 3-inch, and the reason why is I need more length. But also on this door, you see here there's a door handle, and if I cut that 3-inch and put over that, I'll have to cut less off of it. I just think it'll look a little better. That is what will go on the door and help protect the door handle. And then the 4-inch will go on the quarter panel. Okay, 3-inch piece. I'm going to have to cut out a little bit for the door handle, but it's going to go like this. These edges here to make it look a little better. I'll show you what the 4-inch piece looks like on there too. And it will line up with that one and go across here. And you can see I already have some marks on those. And then that'll help protect this glass. So we're going to clean those corners up a little bit, make them a little less dangerous. Alright, so I'm just going to use a piece of tubing to round the sharps on that flat, and I'll cut around that, and that'll make it look a lot better. see that or not. You can on these. Now we're going to round the corners on them. Got my vise out of the shop. I have it on a piece of 2-inch tubing. That way it'll go in a receiver, which I have bolted underneath my countertop, and I can put it in my bumper. And then I have my swing out table, and I'll use it as a workbench. Alright, so a lot of people are still cleaning up after the storm damage we had here in southeast Missouri, so you're going to hear some chainsaws and stuff in the background. And that's just part of working in the driveway. Oh no! Dead. See, nice rounded corners on it. Looks a lot better. So I had to get a new battery, charge the battery, and also going to replace my cutoff wheel. I use benchmark abrasives. I don't know if you can see that or not. They actually provided these. I contacted them about a sponsorship. They weren't interested in doing a partnership, but they sent me a box of cutoff wheels, a box of flap discs, a big banner. So while I use these, I'm going to advertise them. I use benchmark abrasives, cutoff wheels, flap discs, and drill bits. They've been great. If you need any, you should check them out. I matched the corners, so now those two pieces are going to stay with each other the rest of the time. See, I rounded the corners here, and they should look really good when they come together. And happy with it. Alright, that one there is done. I'm just going to use the first one as a template to do the second one. You don't need to watch that. Make this video pretty short. Straps taped to the truck just to see how it looks. I'm going to tape this to there so I can get measurements to cut out for my door handles. Okay, so that gives you a pretty good look of what the plate's going to look like. So I'm going to do a 45 degree here, come out enough to clear my door handles, come all the way around, and I'm not going to stop it here. That's just where I run out of plate. But I'm going to run it with a 90 degree on around the corner. Alright, so I made a pattern to cut my strapping. That's kind of a bigger pain in the butt than what I expected, but let me try here again. So it wasn't off terribly, but off a little bit. There. Let's see. think I've decided I'm gonna go every 5 inches. 5 inches on this big plate is gonna work out better, and I think it may work out on this too. Actually, on the front plate, I think I'm gonna do them every 4 inches. Nobody will ever notice, right? I hope not. Alright, so I'm using a 1/4 inch bit. I bought 1/4 inch bolts, and again, this is from Benchmark Abrasives. Alright, so I'm going to break out the DA sander and just give those a good sanding. And you guessed it, my sanding discs are Benchmark Abrasives. So I'm going to get doing that, get them ready to prime. Actually, I'm going to get them ready to bolt up to the body. But I'm going to sand them. I got time to sand them, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now I am building the standoffs for the tube that I bent. My 1 3/4 tubing fits right inside that, perfect. And I'm not really giving a measurement, I'm just lining up the bottom part with this, and I'm cutting it. That's going to be my standoff. And I was using a hole saw to make my cut. So, as you can see, that was pretty quick. I had to bump the speed up on my drill press because it would get jammed up. Alright, and it is it's notched. It's crude, but it works. Alright, so the portion that is going on the door, I'm going to try to find the shortest one of these, the two shortest one of these that I have. I believe those two right there are going to be the shortest. So this one, there, and there. That one's going to have to be ground down a little bit. It's a little crooked. This one's pretty square. We'll grind this one down real quick. I'll be right back. Plans are to make the front of it the shortest. Use the shortest ones on the front and the longest ones on the very back. That way the whole thing kind of goes out at the rear a little bit. Kind of pushes me away from the window and the tail light. Alright, so I have those level across there where they need to be, and I'm going to go ahead and tack these in. I'm just going to use this to make my measurement to cut my 45 here, and should be pretty quick and easy as soon as I find my square, which is outside. I'll be right back. And I'm just going to use it to make a mark straight across. Moment of truth here. That is definitely weldable. Just got the standoff welded to the plate. Put here. Don't think I'll be able to get the measurement on the window. You notice the window is not flat, so I just got to and go with that. Arkansas barking spiders. I got it figured out now. I'm going to mark it and get ready to drill some holes. Pretty hard to do. It is a the driver's side is a perfect rust-free body. Alright, so take a look. And then I just been putting a dab of RTV silicone around the edge of it, smushing it in there and squishing it down. I don't think with the RTV on it that I need to prime the drill part. Now, when the whole side of the thing rusts out, I may disagree, but as of now, I don't think I need to. And one thing I am worried about is these bolts bottoming out on the inside, touching something on the inside. So if I screw this down and it hits, I'll just have to trim it off. Okay, so one thing that made me way more confident when drilling where the window is putting a piece of sheet metal between the glass and the door. You see that? There is an extra brace inside the door here, and the drill bit wanted to screw through it instead of cut through it. So I felt the drill bit touch the glass on the last one I drilled, and I thought it was done. So I went and grabbed a piece of sheet metal when it didn't break, and made me a lot more confident in drilling that out. All right, so I'm back to where I was last night. So if you look here, where the door and the quarter pound meet, and you see here, and I don't know if you can see that, but it is perfect. And how I achieved that, I just sleeve the inside just for now, just so those would line up. So this is 1 3/4 120 wall tubing. This is 1.5 1/4 wall tubing that fits it inside the 1 3/4. Perfect. All of this is going to have to be bent around, and I'm going to have to bend it, I believe, because if I weld it, pull it over and weld it, pull it over and weld it, I think whenever I undo this piece, it's actually going to straighten. So I think the force of,
So as you can tell, this is going to take a while.
the tube will be
And I
stronger
probably
than the
won't
force
get
of these
to,
plates. I'm going to have to
weld stuff
bend
together
it. So
tonight.
unfortunately, all I
If I
have
get to,
is
then you will see that. If not,
this Harbor Freight tubing kinker. But it seems to work good enough. I made the bends in my tie rods with this bender, and it worked fine. I'll figure it out. The only bad thing is that's the only tubing I have. My bumper's at 8/10 of a degree, almost level. So I'm going to make this match the bumper. Right, so I don't know if you can see here. This is where it needs to bend, and I'm already at the end. So I'm going to take my sleeve in here, roughly halfway. This other piece of pipe in here, maybe. And you can see the seam is right here underneath this roller. So I put the tiniest little bend in it, which is what I wanted. Right, that may have been a little too much. You can see here that I was wanting it to touch this standoff, but it's touching this standoff. I'll make another one here where it's touching, and then probably another one here to bring this around. Coming together pretty well. The body has a bend to it, and the tube has a bend to it, kind of rounded together. So I got the tops of all the tubes welded. I forgot to put my plate up, and I got splatter all over my window. That sucks. All right, let's look at all of my slag. Alright, well, I'm going to pull them off, and I'm going to weld the rest on the bench. So I don't know
you can see this or not. If you look down my plate, it's got a big bow in it right here. And so that happened because I was in a rush. It was about to start storming, and I didn't take my time to let stuff cool off before I just kept welding, and it worked out. So what I'm going to try to do is weld the back side of it, and maybe that'll pull it back a little more flush, and then I can grind it off, make it smooth, and get it ready to go. That's what I'm going to do now. Alright, so that got it back pretty straight, and I was able to beat it with a hammer and make it straighten up a lot better. So I'm going to sand that with my DA sander, clean it off with mineral spirits, and give it a coat of primer to make it look like this one. Alright, so now I'm going to bring the big piece in, and I'll get sanded on that. Alright, so one thing I want to show you, see all these coupons or cutouts you want to, that's what you're going to call them, from when I was notching the tubes. So I'm going to use these to make the end caps on either side of the tubing. Is throw them in the vise, flatten them out, and so they make almost the perfect size. I'll have two little ears on it, and then I can grind them off. I'll just tack weld it here, grind the tabs off, and weld it up. So one good thing about the little ears sticking off, it'll give me something to hang on to when I tack them up. I got some end caps welded on, and on camera it kind of looks goofy, but in real life it don't look too bad. I almost don't want to grind it off, but all the other ones are ground off, so I gotta do it. And all I'm doing is squaring up the tube and getting rid of the weld. Well, got it sanded down, and yeah, there's still some pits and porosity in there. And after I go rub this thing through a bunch of trees in the woods, then nobody will notice. Will they? Yeah, I realize it's a junk pile. Well, it is the 4th of July, so neighbors are already shooting some stuff off. Man, I need a haircut. But I'm sure you've seen me using hand tools to put these bolts in. And well, the reason is because those are stainless steel bolts. And if you use tools on stainless steel, majority of the time you're going to gall them up. So I smeared grease in each one of the rib nuts. No oxide really is what it's for, but it should keep the stainless steel from corroding, or the rib nuts from corroding onto the stainless steel. So they are on. The caulking job or the silicone job around the edges is terrible, but it'll clean up pretty easy. Alright, so the tree sliders are done. Just gonna give you a view of that. Y'all, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Tell me what you think about those tree sliders, tub sliders, rubber rails, whatever you want to call them. Thanks for watching.